for this. Let's see. So while we get this going on Instagram, show us your Instagram, Sue.
It's a gorgeous photo of my sister and my niece.
Oh, lovely. So press that home button, that little house.
Down the bottom?
Yeah, click on that. What happens there? There should be a couple of circles across the top.
There's only one.
Hey, Karen. We might need to upgrade your Instagram. Maybe let's leave it. We're fine.
Okay.
We'll work through this too. So everyone, I just want to introduce you to Sue Thomas. She's an amazing mindset coach. She's been studying and working in this field for over 16 years, helping people master their mind, master their life. And we met a couple of weeks ago. I just want to say hi, Sue. How are you?
I'm great, Dax. How are you?
Great. Thank you. And thank you for coming on. We met a couple of weeks ago in a business networking group. And I saw you present and you just shined. And I thought I just need to meet you, Sue. And we've caught up a few times. And it's been great. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. I love what you do too. It really resonates well with me. The way you are developing people's property portfolio. It's brilliant.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Now, I've invited Sue on for our growth members and our launch program members, because I find when we're working with a lot of people, and I had these things as well myself, was blockages in wealth. Hey, Property Watcher. Hey, Karen. I'll be saying to a few people on board, they can jump on to Facebook and actually see Sue as well, or get the recording. What I found in myself is having blocks in my life about, taking some leaps of faith, taking some understanding into development, and even just blocking out opportunities and not even seeing them, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I guess you've helped a lot of people over the time, haven't you, Sue?
I have helped a lot of people over my time, and I've really seen some growth in people that they didn't even know was there, didn't know was possible in such a short period of time. That's the beauty of this.
I love that. That's good. So you've got a presentation today that we're gonna run through to see all the great stuff that you can help with our members and people online. So let's kick it off. How's that sound? Do you want to see if you can share your screen? Let's see how this goes across to Facebook as well.
Okay.
And while you're doing that, I see that you've got a lovely dog in the background.
Oh, what can you see?
A dog?
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh, a cat. Oh, is it the cat?
Is that a cat? Ah.
That he's found that seat to be his favourite since I've been, on Zoom and in here so often.
Yep, excellent. What's his name?
Louis.
Louis. We have to start a Cats of Hera, because I have a Burmese blue as well. We love them.
Yeah. It's his favourite spot. Must be the energy in here.
Good. Excellent. Okay, far away. Let's go.
You can see my screen now?
I can. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much for having me here. This is about mastering your mind, mastering your life. There isn't a bigger statement that is so true than this one here. So I'm hoping to impart some wisdom here. I'm here to help you, all the listeners, to take their life to another level. You either make life happen or life happens to you. This is no coincidence that you're here, and it could be the most important hour of your life, because you don't know what you don't know. You might learn something new here that could change your life. And this is science. It's not just hairy-fairy stuff. It's actually science, and it has been proven. It's physics, quantum physics. So we become what we think about all day long. So I want you to think about what you think about. Become consciously aware of the thoughts in your mind. What do you think about? Whether you can or whether you can't. We are our best friend or our worst enemy in this regard. So, you know, really think about what's going on in that mind of yours, because it's all under your control. Okay, so I want to help you today. I want to show you how to set the right goals for you. You know, one of the biggest problems for most people is they don't know how to set the right type of goals. They're setting goals, but it's not really helping them grow. You know, we're going to look at your results and, you know, how you're getting them and what might be stopping you, and how to change your results and get what you want. Yeah. So let's start with a quote, which is, logic will get you from A to Z. Imagination will get you everywhere. This was said by a very wise man, Albert Einstein. So I really want you to open your mind today, use your imagination, learn to really get in touch with that. Let everything go that you've known in the past. It's past, it's gone. So what you've learned has gotten you here today. So to get somewhere else, you need to learn something else. So hopefully I can show you today a new way of thinking, a new place to be thinking from, that will help change your results and get you to where you want to be. Unless you're already there. But, you know, people I meet are always wanting more, wanting better, to achieve more, or they're just not happy where they're at and they don't know what to do. Okay, so I want to start with a bit of a reality check. Now, this is a little bit of an exercise. You might be driving, so you can't do it right now, but I want you to really think about, you know, you, because it's all about you. So I'd like you to draw, when you've got the time, as soon as you can, because doing this on paper is really, like, it's the process that you need to go through. So can you see this, Dax? I've got 80 squares that I'm holding up. Can you see that? If you can draw on a piece of paper, 80 squares, so 8 rows down and 10 rows across, or the other way around, however you can fit it on your paper. Because each of these squares represent a year of your life, because the average life expectancy is, it's not 80 years, but it's 78 point something years. So we round it off to 80, or I'm rounding it off to 80. So this is for, each square is for every year of your life, all right? So then I want you to get a pen. Do I need to give you time to do that, or? I need to get, you know, get a texter, nice coloured texter, red or blue or pink or whatever you like, and colour in every square that for every year you've been alive. So for every year, colour in a square. Yep. So, you know, 80 years or 78 years is the average lifespan. Some live a bit longer, some don't make it there. Some, you know, don't make it into their 20s, 30s. So some stop off along the way, but the average is 80. Okay, so for one I've prepared earlier, here's the one I've coloured in for me. So the ones that you have left over, that's what you have left. That's how many years on average that you have left if you live to the average life expectancy. Okay, so it's not a given, but, you know, that could be what's left for you. Okay, so well done. Dax is done. He's good on you, Dax. Woo. All right, so have a look at how many squares you've got left. I can't hear you for some reason.
I've done mine, so that's going all right. So 47 squares.
Yep. Okay.
I've got not much left. Can I add another line?
Oh, we'd love to. Well, it all depends on how you look after yourself, but you never know. You could walk out and get hit by a bus tomorrow, and if that happens, it's not my fault. But, you know, the chances of, you know, we can really look after ourselves, and, you know, I know about health, which is one of my specialties, is helping live longer. But, you know, that was a bit of a fright for me to realise this. You know, it's it's also, you may have those squares left, but what is the, like, how is your body? You know, we might be, you know, thinking we're going to retire when we're 60 and we've got 20 years left. But, you know, when you look at most 60-year-olds, they're not doing the same thing as a person in their 40s. So your ability to do what you want to do in those retirement years, you know, it's just not always possible to climb that mountain you wanted to climb, or, you know, go away on 4 weeks holiday where you're hiking and you're doing all those things you really, really want to do. You know, reality is, you know, they're not productive years. Most of these years are lived out in an aged care facility. And if you've ever visited one, you know, some people can be in there for 5-10 years, you know, so like, I want to stress to you, you know, don't wait. There is no time like the present. It's the only moment you can control. The past is gone. You can't do one thing about it. Well, you can change your memories of it, but your future is what you're creating, but now is the only time you have control of. So, you know, there's your reality check.
And Sue, I think that's really clear. I mean, I love this square thing, because now I know, like, yes, I need to get cracking. I need to do the stuff I really want to do. So
yeah, and you look at how many's gone. How many's gone, you know, and what have you done with it?
Yep.
What have you been waiting for? You know? Okay, so my business is Magical Results, and this is what I help to create for people in their life. Yep. Okay, bit more of any you know, background on me. I'm a mindset development expert in human performance and success. So basically, I help people improve your thinking in such a way that your results improve dramatically and take your life to a whole new level. We aim for quantum leaps, not just small little leap, you know, changes in your life, little improvements. You might have seen a few of that in your life when you've done, you know, little bits of work on yourself, or, you know, just stepped up in life. But we like to aim for something really big. I'm a certified Proctor Gallagher consultant working with the Proctor Gallagher Institute. I'm the director of Magical Results, and I'm actually a cancer survivor. You know, yes, woohoo! You know, not everyone can say that. And I've got friends who would love to say that, but they're not here with us anymore. You know, I was diagnosed with cancer 3 years ago. I was very stressed. I was unwell. My life was in chaos. My finances were a mess. My relationships weren't good. You know, I was in a job I'd outgrown. I'd had postnatal depression. I used to suffer from extremely bad anxiety attacks and panic attacks. You know, I couldn't leave my house at certain stages in my life, you know. But 3 years ago, not a lot had improved. You know, I'd gotten through, but, you know, my life was happening and I really had no control over it. So I thought, you know, I had done some self-development over the years and read some books, watched movies, you know, did videos and some short courses. And that probably saved my life, because I was able to tap into some things that I knew to really know that there was more. I could do more. And, you know, I found a program that really, you know, I jumped into. But I was like, what was I saving my life for? You know, to go back to do the same old in the job I had outgrown, with finance in chaos. You know, my relationships weren't great. You know, what did I want to keep going back? You know, and I was looking down the barrel of my life, you know, really thinking, is this it? You know, I said a few swear words, sitting on that edge of my grave, because that's what I felt like. Holy moly, what have I done? You know, I'm giving you this wake-up call so that you can have it now, before you get diagnosed with something or get too old and go, oh, all these regrets. You know, you've got the opportunity now, this very second, to make a decision, make a big decision. You know, I came across a transformational program that literally changed my life from night to day and dramatically improved my results in every area of my life, like every area. I was working on one or two, but it just improved. You know, you improve that little area there and you grow bigger in all the other parts of your life. Now, I want to share some of this with you today. So get your notepads ready and a pen,
Mhm.
because there could be some aha moments happen for you. And it might not be what I say, but it might be something that sparks in your mind
Okay.
that you need to write down, because we always think, oh, I'll write that down later, I'll do it later, but it disappears.
Mm.
And you get there and you think, oh, what was that? And you can't remember what it really was. So write it down. And, you know, this is where, you know, when you're writing, you're spelling. Now, you might think this is a bit out there, but, you know, you can be creating a spell with what you're writing.
Mm.
Because when you think about it, you know, we are spelling each word. So there's something in that. You know, I probably was burnt at the stake a few years ago, hundreds of years ago. But I'm proud of that. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got Jen on here. She's just given you a couple of love hearts on the Facebook Live. So she's awesome. She knows exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah. Hi, Jen. Thank you. Okay, so let's, you know, okay, so I work alongside Bob Proctor, and I don't know if you've heard of him, but Bob was one of the first guys to, or first people to start in this, taking the self-development industry to the public, taking it into people's homes, into people's businesses, to really help people improve their life. You know, he is the self-development and human potential guru in the self-development industry. He's been studying for over 59 years. You know, this is a man who's lived past that 80-year-old time frame. He's 86 or turning 86 this year, you know, like massive. You'd think he was in his 60s, and, you know, he's doing something right. So, you know, he teamed up with Sandy Gallagher, the lady sitting next or standing next to him here. And together they created the program that I share, the Success Program, and for you to take your life to the next level in quantum leaps. So, you know, most people are using 10% of their potential, like only 10%. We are so much greater. Like we all have greatness in us, and we are smarter than what we think. You know, we're tapping into 10%. There's another 90% that we have that we, you know, most people rarely tap into. Imagine if you just tapped into another 10%. That is doubling what you do now. You know, would you like to double your income? Double your investment portfolio? You know, double your sales, double, you know, your potential. Like this is
double our real estate portfolio, which Thomas Real Estate just joined on Instagram, and he's all about growth as well. Hey, guys, good stuff. Excellent.
We share a name there, Sue Thomas. Anyway, yes. Okay, so the Global Emotional Report shows that 85% of people are not happy with what they are doing today. 40% claim to suffer from stress. Now, I think that might have doubled. Could it triple? You know, and go beyond that, because I think a lot of people, the majority of people are now, with what's been going on, has caused a lot of extra stress. You know, so if they weren't stressed already, they're stressed now. You know, they're unhappy in a job, you know, which is, you know, an acronym for just over broke. You know, and it keeps us stuck where we are. According to Dell, 85% of jobs in 2030 have not been created yet. So a lot of people are being stressed about a job that doesn't even exist. You know, doubt and worry are two of the most common emotions. And most people live in this feeling of doubt, worry, and fear. The majority of their time, they're always, you know, worried about what could happen, or, you know, what could go wrong? What if it doesn't work? What if I don't have the money? What if I can't find the money? What if they don't like me? Or I might get embarrassed if I do that. Or what if I get sick? You know, but what if you could change that to how can I do that? You know, to learn to ask some empowering questions, because fear is what stops, you know, most of us from having it all. You know, it's not about changing one area of your life. What if you could change it all? What if you could have the most amazing life and live in a feeling of happiness, in a feeling of joy? You know, joy that you are doing everything you want, when you want, with who you want. You know, you can. Okay. So a lot of people I talk to don't have a goal. Well, they might have a little goal, but it's not, you know, a worthy of them. You know, and they wonder why they're not getting anywhere. But without a worthy goal, we become trapped in dull, boring, routine behavior that does not serve us. You know, you got to ask yourself, why are we here? You know, like, are you here to suffer? Are you here to, you know, life is short, and you'll realize that when you do this. You'll realize life is short. We're not here forever. You know, what is it that you want? What is it that you really want? You know, remove your limitations, use your imagination. Oh, my colours disappeared on this one. But we found what most people want is time and money freedom, to be free of financial concerns. And I'll tell you, you will be amazed at how much free time you have when you never have to think about money. When you're shuffling money from one account to the other it's like, you know, if you don't have to do that, how much free time would you have? You know, yeah. So who wants more money? Like,
Speaking to the right group.
yeah, but you know, this is like, you know, I'll get into it, but you know, having freedom, having wealth is not always just about money. We have riches inside of us that we don't even know that's there. You know, but the majority of people want to be free of financial concern. They want to wake up enthused about their day and be inspired to get up. You know, who wouldn't love to wake up and get up? Wow, I'm so excited about my day, you know, and have meaningful relationships with others and yourself. Not just live with somebody and go through the same old routine. Wouldn't it be great to have meaningful conversations? You know, actually, just sidetrack. I went to a talk last year, and it was about on big talk. We're so into having small talk. What about the big talk? What about real meaningful relationships? So, you know, I want you to throw logic out the window. Take some time now. You are here. This time is for you. What is it you want? Imagine what your life would be like, or what you'd like it to be like, your day, your year, your life. What do you want to do for the rest of your life? Now, you know, we sort of get asked those questions, but we never stop and think about it. You know, how would you like to wake up? Where would you like to wake up? Yeah, but people think, oh, but I can't do that. I've got this job, or you don't know who I'm married to, or oh, my kids. Let's forget about that. Let that go. Just let it go.
And now is a perfect time for it, isn't it, Sue? We're stuck at home. You've got a limited time before we all get let out soon. So I think, you know, you're resonating in a point where people can go, now is the time, isn't it?
Yep. Normal is not normal. There is no normal anymore. What we thought was normal is not going to be like that when we come out of here. It's going to be very different. You know, the greatest thing you can do is go away on 4 to 6 weeks holiday every year. Take yourself out of your life and really think about what it is you want before you get back, and then implement that in your life. But we've had this happen to us right now. So before we go back into that craziness that's going to come out of this, because it might not get better before it gets worse. It might get worse before it gets better. So, you know, don't wait to work out what's going to happen when you get out there. Take control of it now. You have control of what you want to do and how you want to be when you come out of this. Your mind is the only thing you can control. Yep.
I love that.
Yeah. Like, this is when you really grasp and get hold of this and really take this on. And, you know, I know you're hearing it and you're listening. You might have heard it before, but do you really understand it? You know, the only people that limit us is ourselves.
That's true. I've been there. I limited myself a lot. I wasn't worthy. I couldn't do it. I couldn't step up. I was nervous about speaking live on camera, all that sort of stuff. But you can change that, can't you?
Yeah. So did your leg fall off, or did you lose your arm? You know, you got to think, what am I scared of? Like, you know. Anyway, what is it you want? What is your goal that you would really love to have? You know, and everybody's goal will be different. Or, you know, most people's goal will be different to the next person. You know, a dream home. What is your dream home? You know, you might think you're living in a nice home, but is it really what you want? You know, or do you want a holiday home, in investment property, or more investment properties? You know, how many do you really want? Don't think of, oh, but I can only afford this, or, you know, realistically, I can only have, you know, one or two. Like, why? Why? Why are you settling for that? Really think about it. Do you want a new car? I tell you, one of those cars is mine. I can't believe when I did this storyboard, it was, you know, a while ago, and I reuse it because I just love the images. You know, but yeah, my car's on there, and it's like, it blew me away because I pulled it up once and I'm like, oh my God, it's there.
That's
You know,
so good. That's
yeah.
excellent. Yeah, I've got one of our guys in the group actually did one of these as well, and didn't realize the property he bought up in the mountains he was sitting in his kitchen table and he brought up his old vision board, and it was the exact view. He'd actually gone on to domain.com and taken the screenshot, not knowing that it was his future property, and years later he got it. It was like, whoa.
That gives me goosebumps. That's like, that is, and this is how it happens. You know, really get clear, do that exercise. And, you know, this is just, you know, some pictures I've pulled off the internet. But yeah, get on realestate.com, look for those houses you want. Don't think, can I? Think, how can I? Yeah, just change that thinking. You know, we can all have whatever we want. We've just got to want it. Yeah. You know, happier relationships, you know, a new job, a new career, or a step up in your career. You know, if living a fulfilling life, and what about leaving a legacy? Like, when you're gone, what could you leave to impart on this earth that you could really feel proud of yourself, and, you know, your children could be extremely proud of you when you're gone? So it's not just...
That's a big key for our group. We've got the multi-generational wealth team, and that's all they're about. They want to leave a legacy for their kids. And they know if they can put one or two projects in and another project in, another property in, and then when they leave, their kids get that portfolio of property. They can't sell it. They can just manage it and look after it and stuff like that. And it's just amazing to see that. And, you know, we've got somebody who's third generation doing that, and they've got a wealth of property in there. And we've got Sophie on board. She said vision boards are so powerful. So
yeah,
amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks, Soph.
And update them every year. You know, reset this every Christmas, every New Year. Get reconnected with your vision board, and, you know, add to it. Help you grow. What is it you want to do this year? And really have that, you know, 1 year, 6 months, 1 year, 2 year, 5 year goals, 10-year lifetime goals on there. Don't just stop, you know, what you think you could do in the next year. It's like, really get the big stuff on there. And I'm going to share with you now about the different types of goals.
Good.
Yeah, so hopefully I can, you know, teach you a little bit about goals. And, you know, what can be stopping some people and what you can do to really step it up. So what's been found is most people are setting too small a goal for themselves. You know, there's different types of goals. We call them the A, B, and C type goals. So an A type goal is something you know how to do. So we can relate this to property. You know, you want to buy a home. You know, other people have done it. You're saving for the deposit and you want to buy a house. So it's given that that's possible. You know how to do it. I might have jumped here. Or, you know, you own a home, but you want to move. You want to buy a different house, similar to what you've got, but you just want to move into a new area.
Mhm.
So you've done it before, you know the process and all of that. But it's not going to help you grow. So then there's a B type goal. It's something you think you can do. So it could be that you own a home, but you want to buy an investment property,
Mhm.
or you have one and you want to buy two. Okay, so it's a jump. It's going to stretch you a little bit. You think you can do it just with a little bit of extra work here and there. And it's, you know, you're interested in it, and it gets you a bit excited at first, but it's possible. Well, then, if you've got that as a goal, you need to see me for sure, and Dax, because what your goal needs to do is help you grow. Goals are to help you grow, to stretch you. To be truly happy in life, you need to be developing yourself. You need to be growing. So we want to talk about a C type goal, something you really want to do or really want to have, but you've got no idea how to. It's possible. Maybe somebody else has done it before, but maybe somebody's never done it. Now, this is where you really grow. When you come up with something that nobody's ever done before, and it really scares you, really scares the living daylights out of you, thinking, and it makes you feel a bit squirmy inside. That sort of sick feeling like, oh, really? Could I really do that? That's the goal we want you to have. Life is for expansion. Everything around us is growing. So if you're not growing, you're doing the opposite. Nothing stands still. Nothing stands still. If you left, this is why when we die, and if you're put in a room, you decay. If you're not growing, you're going backwards. That house, if you just buy it and don't do anything with it, and you let it sit there for 10 or 20 years, it's going to start to fall apart. This happens with us as well. So we really need to find goals that are going to inspire us. Something really, they call it a BHAG. I've heard Dax talk about that. Your big, hairy, audacious goal. What's something that really thinks, holy moly, could I do that? 5 investment properties. Would that really scare you? How would I do that?
Yeah.
Asking that question, then that's something that, could be your goal.
I love that. I love that. We have people who have got some amazing goals of 10, 15 properties that they want to buy and sell down and then retire on what's left. We've got some people that want to build eco villages for their family and friends to live on and retire. And that's our ultimate goal, and being able to leave a legacy so that their kids can live on there as well, and then their kids and their kids. So I love these big, hairy, audacious goals, and the team's creating them. So I love that you're saying that these are a C-type goal.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then maybe a B-type goal is 5 investment properties. So we really need to stretch these people, to really think what is possible. If somebody else has done it, it can be done. But more often than not, we're thinking how we can't do it or what's going to stop us. So it's really shifting out of that. Use your mind. What do you think about? Really think about it. Okay, so let's have a look at our results. And what happens? What is happening for you right now? And how does it happen? How do results happen? How come others can get results that, we wish we could have, but we don't think we can? Do results just happen? Now, I want to talk to you about tell you a story about a fly. This is a fly in the room that's at the window, and it's buzzing and it's trying to get out that window. And you've probably all seen it. You've probably all heard this fly buzzing at the window, and it's really buzzing. And sometimes you hear it pinging, hitting it's hitting the window, and it's really trying to get out. And you look at it and you think, how crazy is that fly? It just keeps trying to do the same thing. It's trying to get out, but it keeps hitting the window. It doesn't know any better. It thinks it's the only way out, and to try harder is the only way that it thinks it's going to get through that window, because it's its programming. It doesn't know any better. It knows that it sees what it wants, and it just goes for it. Yeah, a fly doesn't have the ability to think. It just sees what it wants and goes for it, no matter what's in its way. It doesn't matter, but this fly is programmed this way, and it's to its detriment that it is actually going to, wear itself out. How many dead flies do you find on the windowsill?
Heaps.
And they wear themselves out. But, if that fly turned around and had the ability to think and looked over there, it could see the door was open and it could fly out. Now, this is where I want you to have a really big think about this. Are you being a fly in your life? It sounds a bit crazy, but are you being that fly that thinks it has to try harder to get what it wants? That if I just try harder, if I just put in more effort here, that I'm going to get more? But what if there was another way, that if you turned around and floated with the air out, the breeze out that door, and you realize it's so much easier, and you got all the results that you wanted, you went out to freedom? Would that be something that you'd like to do? Have that quantum leap. A lot of us think we need to try harder to get more in our lives, but it's not the answer. That's how we've been programmed. We've been programmed to work harder, just do more, get more, do another, get some more letters behind your name, and, do another course in your career. And, but there are a lot of people who are really well educated and they're not earning much money at all. Some of them don't even have a job, especially now. So let's have a look. 2 things you must know to create wealth. Now, this is where wealth is, not just dollars. This is like happiness, riches in you. 2 things you need to know. Yeah. So you just need to know where you are and where you are going. So, what is your goal? So we just need to have a good understanding of, right now, where are we? Because if you don't know where you are, you don't know, that, we don't know we're in a jail. No, we can't get out of a jail unless we know we're in one. So when you really analyze where you're at and be, not realistic, but tell yourself the truth of where you're at. There's a difference. And then set a great goal, know where you want to go. They're the 2 things you need to know. And it is so simple and so obvious. But, why doesn't it work for us? You think just set a goal. That should be enough. I'll do that. But why are people not getting there? And why are people so unhappy? And why are so many people stressed in their jobs? Why are people, giving up on their goals? It's so simple. Why are so many people stuck? They've got a goal. We're looking at where we are. You're here, where you are. But we have these things called paradigms. We are programmed just like the fly. And our paradigms control us. It keeps us where we are. And I'll teach you a bit about paradigms, because I don't know if you've heard of this word before. I know Dax has. But even knowing what it is, a paradigm is our mental programming that has almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior. But most of our behavior is habitual. Your paradigms are locked in your subconscious mind. So, we are habitual creatures. We usually get up around the same time. We have similar food for breakfast, or we go to the same places for breakfast. Even when we get up, what we do in the morning, whether you go have a shower first or you have breakfast first, or if you don't have breakfast, which leg do you put in your pants first? It's a habit. Try and change it. Try and change the person you live with. Try and change their habits during the morning. They're not going to like it. So we are, and this programming can be really good. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good things that we are taught, and it's to help us function every day. Because if we had to think about every single thing we do every day, everything, we'd be insane.
Yeah, it's like I use the analogy of driving a car. So when you started driving a car, you didn't know what was going on. How do I drive the steering wheel and the buttons and the indicators and the feet, and how am I supposed to get all my body coordinated? Now it's really subconscious programming. You hardly even think about what you're doing. The body it's a habit that just does it for you, and you just really need to keep an eye on the subconscious to make sure it's driving correctly. And if anything changes, you need to then become conscious and do it. But yeah, it's a very interesting, once you get the understanding of the paradigm, and I know we talked about this, and that control that it can have over you, that you're just on autopilot. This is the power, isn't it? Once you realize that, and how you can take hold of that. I love it.
Yep. And I love that analogy too. It's like, but sometimes have you ever gotten somewhere and thought, oh my God, how did I get here? Like, I've been driving for 5 minutes and I don't even know if I stopped at that corner or not, or did I go through the lights? Because we are on automatic for so much of our day, our life. A lot of, like, when we learn to drive a car, we have to really concentrate. Now you've got to do 120 hours, or I think they've even upped that.
Mm.
But, you've got to do this repetition. But as a kid, when we're children, up to the age of 7, everything goes in without us even thinking. It's the absorbent mind. And, it's meant to teach us how to talk, how to walk, how to do things, live in the society we live in, how to live in the house we live in, learning the house rules. Because if we would have had to be told everything, it would take, lifetimes. But, it's there for a reason. But some things we're taught don't serve us. So we're going to have a look at that. So what are paradigms? These are, most of our beliefs that we have, or our paradigms are a multitude of habits, but they're other people's habits. They're passed on from one generation to the next. Most of what we believe, when you really think about it, I want you to really think. Most of our beliefs that we have are somebody else's beliefs. It's what we've been told by somebody else. Our parents told us, what was good manners. Our parents told us how to behave. We watched them. It wasn't always what they said, but it was what they did. And we learned how to behave like that. And we learned that that was right. But, if we moved you, born in Australia, if we moved you to a country, say in Africa or into China, like, sometimes those beliefs would not work there. Different religions, different, I even know just in the same street we live in, there is so much multicultural stuff happening, but their beliefs are very, very different. So, do you really ask yourself that question? Do you want to keep believing that? Like, you've got to choice. As we become adults, we parent ourselves. We rely on our parents sometimes for way too long, in our 40s, 50s. Some people say to me, oh, but I've really realized I was doing that because what would my mum think if I changed jobs? Like, what would your mum think? At the end of the day, more often than not, your parents go before you, and we're living our lives for them. But at the end of the day, the biggest regret is, why did I do so much for everybody else and not for myself? This isn't about being selfishly selfish. This is about you being selfish in a way that you're here. This is your life. It's not anybody else's. It's time you think of yourself. because when we're living for other people, we're not happy. You know, and I was there. I was there, diagnosed with cancer, living my life for everybody else. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my kids and my family and all that, and it's not about not loving them. But I think we can show our children more, and our parents are even more proud of us when we step out and do something and make something of ourselves and be proud of ourselves, when we are really happy and joyful of what we are achieving because we want to achieve it. Like, how happy can you be? You know, like,
I love that, Sue. And I think one of the things I love on top of that is, like on what your slide says, passed on from one generation to next. And you now have a chance to break that paradigm. And you now have, if you've got kids or you're looking to have kids and stuff like that, you can work on yourself so you don't transfer that to them and then their kids, and it just continues on. You have a chance right now to break that cycle and manage and become who you want to be, and then that reflects to them to show that they can then break out of any other paradigms, to be at purpose with their life. I love that.
Yep. Very good. I love that too. Okay, so okay, we've got to get through this. So
how are we going for time?
Yeah, well, we're getting there. I'll get through this. But, you know, everybody can rewatch this, so can take it in if I rush through. So, you know, let's look at your mind. Let's look at the mind and paradigms. You know, look at your mind. You know, it's, when you think of the mind, what do you think of? What does it look like to you? You know, a lot of people, when I ask this question, I get some really weird answers. The craziest one is, you know, it's little monkeys running around in my head.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's the best. The monkey mind.
The monkey mind.
The chatter that goes on. And we've got Jen here who's amazing. She says, yeah, I always ask myself, what is this teaching my son? And that can be a really powerful trigger, can't it, for changing beliefs and paradigms?
Yes. What are you teaching your children? Everything you do is, they're not always listening to what you say. They're watching what you do. And they're going to be doing what you do. I had this biggest wake-up call many years ago about this. And, you know, really stop and think about it. You know, but, you know, most people think of their mind, they think of the brain. But the brain is no more your mind than what your little fingernail is or your big toe. You know, our mind is so much greater than that. You know, it's in every cell of our body. But, you know, to understand our mind, a famous, or I think he's very famous, a very well-knowledge doctor many years ago, was in the healing arts and holistic health, Dr. Thurman Fleet. So back in 1934, he stated, the mind is an activity, not a thing. So no one has ever seen the mind. So in order to gain clarity and eliminate confusion, he created an image to help people get a picture of their mind, because it's not the brain, it's a totally different thing. The brain operates the body, whereas the mind operates our thoughts, or collectively. And when you learn about the mind, it's way bigger than that too, but keep it simple. Yeah, so here's a picture of the mind. Now, it's a pretty basic picture, but when you really learn about this, this can really open your world to, you know, so much when you realize you have control of this. So he broke the mind into two halves, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Okay, now, and the body. Okay, so this is not the perspective, but it's just to show you that the mind is way bigger than the body. And I know it's showing you half and half, but the percentages isn't that way. Your conscious mind is, or your subconscious, I've got this in a slide down further, but your conscious mind is operating 2 to 4% of your day. Your subconscious mind is running 96 to 98% of your day. Okay, so when Bob learned about this, he thought it was the most valuable idea he had ever learned, and this is where he thought everybody has to know about this. And when you learn about it and you understand, here we go, 96 to 98% of your behavior comes from your subconscious mind, and only 2 to 4% of your behavior is conscious, that you are consciously aware of. Your choices you make, everything else is habit. It's that driving that car, it's habitual. And it's your paradigms. Your paradigms control this. Okay, so school gave us valuable knowledge. And what I'm teaching you now does not get taught in schools, which is...
No, it should be, shouldn't it? This is number one. This is
number one.
You know that you go on autopilot after a while, and you should know that, you know, you need to be aware of these things to take control of your life, or your body will just take over. Your subconscious will take over.
Yeah. So yeah, school gave us knowledge. However, school never taught us how to alter our paradigms. Yeah. Therefore, we frequently do not do what we really want to do. We're running by our paradigms, our habitual behavior. The subconscious mind is really what is limiting us in what we do. Yeah. We have superior knowledge because we are taught a lot at school, but we have inferior results. And this causes confusion and frustration. As we get older, it causes great confusion and frustration. And I'll explain why. Because school gives us knowledge, and it's in our conscious mind. This is where the knowledge from what we learn at school is where it sits. It's in that conscious mind. Remember, 2 to 4%. The rest is in our subconscious mind. So where do our results come from? Our results come from our subconscious mind, from our paradigm. It's that habitual programming, our habitual behavior. Whether we think we can or think we can't, we're right. It's our habitual thinking. 96 to 98%. When you grasp this, that 2 to 4% is the knowledge we learn from school. Most people don't think. You know, 2% of people think they think. 3% of people think they think. Yeah, 95% of people would rather die than think. You know, think about that.
And this is backed up. I did psychology at university, and we did it's called the zombie theory, and they're saying 80% of the population are on autopilot, and we had to go down to Melbourne Flinders Street Station and bump people in the shoulders, like knock them, and record if they just kept going or turned around and had a go at us for it. And the whole class did it, and it literally worked out to roughly 80% of the people ignored us, even if we were hitting them really hard. It was amazing. So, you know, the theory is proven that this is, you know, correct. It's amazing that people are like that.
You know, you just think about it. If you hid the coffee or you hid the milk in the fridge, you know, you moved it and you put it somewhere else, it drives people crazy. You know, what did you move that for? You know, I've got it, you know, really wakes people, they've got to think. You know, it's this, you just think about your day and how habitual it is, you know. But, you know, and we also, you learn 5% of the population control most of the money. You know, why do you think that is? If, you know, we're all educated, it's, you know, we all go to school and get educated. We all get the same type of education. You know, there is a little bit different, public, private, you know, homeschooling, but, you know, we're all still educated in a similar way. And there are even people who go to private schools and some end up wealthy and some don't. Public schools, some wealthy, some don't. You know, it's not where we live, because if it was where we lived, everybody in the same suburb would be extremely wealthy, or others would be, you know, in another suburb would be all poor, or, you know, different countries. You know, so it's not that. But at school, okay, so hang on. Cool. Let's go. This, if we want to change our results, we need to change the paradigm. We need to create new paradigms. At school, we are taught through our sensory factors. We are taught through, through seeing, through hearing, through our, sight, smell, taste, and touch. These are our sensory factors that we are taught through. Can't you see this? Everything is about our circumstances. Look at what you're doing. Can't you hear what I'm saying? There is all these sensory factors that we watch other people and we learn through that, right? But we have mental faculties that we have never been taught how to use. If you could learn how to use these mental faculties, imagination, logic, your will, your memory, your intuition, these things, your reason. Like people say, oh, and I hear this all the time, I'm so logical. And they think being logical is like a sign of intelligence. But, logic, it keeps you stuck where you are. Because if you use your logic the way you've used it, nothing will change. Yeah, we really want to tap into that imagination. That's the key. If we can really learn to use our imagination and really get in the feeling of our goal already achieved, this is where magic happens, when you learn to do that. But, when we look at our paradigms and what they control our beliefs, our habits, our perception, use of time, our self-image. Oh my goodness, this is massive. Creativity, effectiveness, our productivity, our logic, our ability to earn money. We have learned all of these. These are habitual behavior. A lot of people go into careers similar to their parents, or they lived the unfulfilled dream of their parents unknowingly. That happens a lot. And these are controlled by, but if you learn to change just one of these, just one area of your life, you learn to change the paradigm that you hold around that, the change can be huge and permanent. Yeah, when you learn how to do that, if you could just change your use of time. People, I hear this, oh, I'm busy, I'm so busy, oh, I don't have any more time. But people are being busy. Like, how productive are you really? When you look at your day, and I do this with a lot of people, go through it with them, help them go through their day and have a really good look at what they do. We all get the same amount of time. It's what you choose to do with it. But we're so stuck up in habitual behavior that we don't think we can change it. But we can. We can.
Definitely can. I love it. Bring it on. We need to change.
Yes. So, formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. Jim Rohn. Oh my God, what an amazing man. So educating yourself about yourself and how you operate can be the best education you can give yourself and your children. Pass this on to your kids. This is what matters most, is how you see yourself. Like, this is the biggest lesson in the program that I share is, what image do you have of yourself? A lot of we actually have two self-images. We have one that we show the world, but we have the other one that's hidden in our mind. And people go, oh, they can walk out of the house in their, jacket and their suit and tie and go off to work and pretend to be who they are. But, it's who you come home to in the, deep, dark recesses of your mind. We can portray a 9 or a 10 out there. But, sometimes we're holding a 2 or a 3 image of ourselves. And I can tell just by what people say. what image they have of themselves in their mind. And this is the one ability we have. When you learn that you have control of that, a lot of the time we believe, that self-image inside of us that we tell ourselves. Think about what you say to yourself. Would you say that to a child? We tell ourselves sometimes that we're not good enough. Why do you think you could do that? You're no good. I'm not going to be able to do that. Why, like our parents have told us that, maybe our bigger brother was better at doing something than what we were, or, or how embarrassing you were when you did that, and we go inside ourselves all the time and we put ourselves down because we repeat that being said. Or a teacher says, you can't do that. Why do you think you'd like to be, an engineer? You're not good at this. Or what makes you think you'd be a good artist? You're not creative. And it really stops us from thinking we can do these things in our lives that we are so capable of. But in one moment of our lives, that very little moment, we may have, done a bit of a not so good looking house that we drew. But for the rest of our lives, we think we can't draw because of that one thing.
It astounds me, the people, and I had that self-talk myself, and that's where I had to really be present with that chatter that you were talking about in your voice, in your head, on putting me down, and it put me down, and I realized that that's not me. And I had to change that speak. So when somebody said, how are you today? Everyone just said, oh, busy. I was busy. And all I heard in my head, I was busy. And it was awful. And now I'm unstoppable, or I'm amazing, or, unstoppable is my big one, go to. And it's just fantastic to feel that way. And my brain hears unstoppable all day when I'm meeting people. And guess what? How I feel.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah. I love it. So yeah.
Exactly. You become what you tell yourself. Think about what we say to ourselves. Would you say it to another child? And your outside world is a direct reflection of what is going on inside your mind. Think about that. It is a direct reflection of what's going on inside of you. Your relationships aren't bad because of them. You not own 5 investment properties because it's somebody else's fault. You're not stuck in that job because somebody made you do it. You have control of now, right now. If you choose to stay there because that's what you've done, then that's your choice. If you choose to buy 5 investment properties because you've decided to, that's your choice. But don't blame anybody else for why you have or haven't done it. Up until now, yes, you didn't know this, but now you know. That sand in that hourglass that's shooting through is in your control. Yeah, you can't blame yourself for anything you didn't know before now. But now you know. Moving forward, what do you want to do?
What can they do, Sue? Can you tell us a little bit about what? I mean, this is amazing. I love where, this has really inspired me, and it's got some great ideas, and the feedback on Facebook and Instagram is amazing. What can they do next? What's one of the alternatives? I know that you've got some amazing things there. What do you suggest that people can start looking into?
Okay. They can give me a call, could be a good start.
Yep.
Because I can really help them work through this. Look, I think just having the awareness that, start to think about what you're thinking about. Are you telling yourself you can't have that? Or can you tell yourself you can? Really think about, is it true? What you are telling yourself, is it really, really true?
Mm.
Or is it because you believe it?
Mm.
That's a big, ask yourself some questions. Is that goal going to help me grow?
Yeah.
Reset your goals, sit down, take some time out of your day.
Mm.
Every day you are giving up your life for what you are about to do.
Yeah.
You are giving your life up for it. So make it worthwhile.
Mm.
Make it worthwhile giving up your life for.
Yeah. It's
You know,
that analogy of that elephant on the screen there, that the elephant's being brought up. That's almost a paradigm, isn't it? That rope, the elephant's strong enough to rip it, but because it was on their leash, on their ankle, their whole entire life, as soon as it's put on, they know I can't do anything.
well, the little elephant tries to pull at it and tries to pull at it.
Mm.
And, it can't get away because that rope and stake is so big. And the little elephant grows a bit more, and he a couple of years, he still can't get that stake out. And in the end, they don't even need to put that stake in the ground to hold that elephant in its place. All they need to do is put the rope on its leg and the elephant stops moving. Now, that is us.
Mm.
It was me. But that is the majority of people. That 95% of people who don't think, they are being controlled by what people have told them their whole life. It's holding them back. Like, what is holding you back? Is it true? Or is it just something you've been told? Like, is it true? That's like, ask that question. But be honest. Be honest with yourself. Is it programming?
Mm.
Mm.
It's so hard to be aware of your thoughts as well, isn't it, Sue? And I know I use a lot of meditation to be able to be aware of that chatter and listen in while I'm living, because it's really hard. You're doing stuff and everything, and you can be on autopilot, and to be able to catch yourself and go, is that a belief of mine, or is that something that, and I want to take that on?
Yeah.
There's some key decisions, and I use meditation, but I know what people might be struggling right now, and they're like, okay, Sue's just blown my mind.
Okay.
You've talked about vision boards. You've talked about, be conscious with your thoughts, and people are now understanding paradigms. We did this amazing 80 square exercise, which really got my head working on. And I know you do this. This is your passion, isn't it? You see the light bulb go on. I love that.
Because I realized how much I was holding myself back. I realized how strongly I had been programmed. And look, don't get me wrong, some of it was great. Some of the stuff that I was programmed with was absolutely amazing. But so much of it was not serving me. And it was really making me sick. And, until you stop, have that awareness and question, am I going to give my life up for this? Take the time out for you. Give yourself 5 minutes a day to focus on what it is you want. We're all busy being busy. Meditation is absolutely beautiful. It doesn't have to be an hour. The best thing really is to have 10 times during the day, set an alarm on your phone that you wake up and think of your goal. After, lock it into maybe breakfast, lunch, dinner, so that, they're givens. And if you lock new habits into those, they're good reminders. Or, that alarm on the phone. So, okay, think of my goal. What is it that I want?
That's fantastic. I love that.
Yeah. We've got to be reminded.
Keeping it at the head of your consciousness to embed it into the subconscious. And that's the key, isn't it? The more you can program your subconscious with the right words, not this autopilot.
Yeah. And, it can sound simple. It sounds like, oh, this is, that's not going to do much. Well, hang on. You've been programmed. And I know I've been programmed for over 50 years of my life. My thinking because we retell ourselves that we think the same thoughts every day. Really, you know, that 96 to 98% thinking is the same every day. So we've got to repetitiously put in new thoughts.
Mm.
Who do you want to be? How do you want to be? You know, if you could wave a magic wand, who would you be?
Mm.
And think of those qualities of that person, and are you that, and why not? You know, we all have greatness in us, and you're tapping into 10% of your potential. There's another 90%, and the only reason why you're not is because you're telling yourself you can't. But you can. If they can, you can. You know, rewrite who you are. We can do that any given moment. You think, oh, but that's not being true, Sue. But at the moment, you are not being true to who you are. You're living what somebody else has told you. So you're living far from the truth already. You know, live your truth, not somebody else's. Do this. Fit it into your day for your own self. Yep. Be inspired. Inspire yourself. You have greatness in you. It's your, you know, energy comes from within.
Mm.
You know, it's not that coffee you have. You know, I want people to wake up really inspired about their day.
I love that, Sue. And you inspire me. I love the passion. I love what you're doing. I love that whole waking up is important for me to be inspired. And I love what I do and bringing people like you on. But also the other thing is, at the end of the day, I love looking back on my day and going, wow, look at the people I've connected with. Look at the people I've touched and changed. Look at what we're doing, you know,
and that's another great habit is, you know, don't get to the end of the day and say, oh, I'm so tired, I was so busy. Go through your day and look at what you did right. Look at all those good things you did. You know, all those really good things, whether it be one or two, and build on them. You know, if every day you can be better than what you were before, even if the day before, even if it's just a little bit, you know, over a year, you can improve so much. But we've got to just start. Yes. So in the absence of clearly defined goals, we become strangely loyal to performing daily trivia until we ultimately become enslaved by it. Yep.
Yuck.
Who does that? Busy, busy, busy.
No.
Busy.
No, and if people don't have goals, I mean, get them straight away, isn't it, Sue? That's the key thing. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the most amazing goal. It doesn't have to be your dream goal. I remember when I started this journey many years ago, my goal was to find a great goal.
Yes.
You know, I wasn't very conscious. And I'm like, I need to figure out what goals I want. And that was one of my first goals. What is my passion? I didn't know, you know. And I think, Sue, if I'd known you way back then, I think, you know, I'd be a lot further down the path. But, you know, what can you say? We're here now.
Look, you know, I was just like you, Dax. I didn't have goals either. We never set goals as kids. Nobody taught us that we could have any more than what we had already. My mum was like, just put up with what you've got. You know, put up with your lot. Don't, you know, do anything different, because, you know, then it makes other people feel bad because they're not doing anything different.
How's that for a paradigm?
Yeah. Exactly. Think
You
of what
you broke that one.
Yeah, exactly. So we're winding up, but 3 things that you can do to get results you want is make a decision that you want it. You know, make a decision you want more than what you have now. You want to be better. You want to have a better life, or, you know, whatever it might be, but just make that decision, you know, and commit to it. Make a commitment. You know, making a decision without commitment is just, you know, nothing. You know, and then take the action you need to achieve the goal. Ask yourself, am I able and am I willing? There's only 2 questions you really need to ask yourself.
I love that. And I like the idea. Whenever I set a goal now, I always take action and do one little thing now, either at even just writing it down and making a call, or looking up something, like if it was a goal to go on a holiday, or, you know, I would be going on and getting a photo for my vision board. At least do that action, take action right then and there. And it gets into your brain that your mind is a muscle. The more you use it, the better it gets. And if you keep doing these, making a decision, committing to it, and then doing a small action, it just mounts up, doesn't it? I love it.
Yeah, it's all those small actions that add up. Your mind is a muscle. It's like, you know, you don't, when you go to the gym, you know, you work out to increase your muscle, and we've got to work our mind as well. And it's those little repetitious things we do. And it's like, you know, your mind, if you think of something and you don't act on it, you're saying I'm not worth it. You know, so when you come up with these inspired thoughts, act on them. And the universe says, wow, she's serious, or he's serious. I'm going to bring you more. But if you keep getting these inspired thoughts and not working on them, the universe just thinks you're not serious. So, you know, make it committed action, and a committed decision, and take that action when it's inspired. You know, Steve Jobs was a big one for this is a good saying, this one. For the past 33 years, I have looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I'm about to do today? And whenever the answer has been no for too many days in a row, I know I need to change something. So you ask yourself, when you look in the mirror today, tomorrow, every day, if what you're about to do, you know, is this what you want to do for the last day of your life? And I did ask myself that, because that's where I thought I was. And, you know, I made some pretty serious decisions and went for it. And I swear you will be rewarded. You will be rewarded with joy and happiness. Like, we are not here for a practice run. How many squares have you got left? You know, and you know, are they in your productive years? How are you going to be in those years? You know, this is it. Every day could be your last day. Yeah. Yeah. So one more. So if you may feel stuck and fearful, or you want to stop living from doubt and worry, from that fear of what if this happens, you know, you want to take your life to another level, book a complimentary session with me, a 15-minute discovery session to freedom. It could be, you know, the best 15 minutes of your life. And, you know, I can help you discover your true potential.
Yay. I love that, Sue. I think that's fantastic. And so look, you know, I've seen this work, these sorts of methodologies work. I've seen my life completely change around, and I know you have too, Sue. And I've got numerous people in the growth program that, you know, use these sorts of things. And like Sophie said, vision boards are amazing. Jen was like, what teaches us this to our son, and breaking those paradigms just really harmonizes. And that's why I love having you on the show. So thank you so much, Sue. I've got my usual 2 questions. I think you've already answered one, but what's something that people don't really know about you?
Oh, okay.
You told us a lot.
Okay. One thing I like, I climbed Volcano Villarrica. And, you know, it was like 3 or 4 weeks after I was diagnosed with cancer. I had a trip booked to Chile. And my nephews, when I was there, said, Auntie Susie, do you want to come and, we were there for their wedding, but yeah, come and climb the volcano with us. And I thought we were going for a walk in the park. Oh my God. You know, we went through snow and ice and to the top of this volcano, 6 hours hiking. And I swear within the first half an hour, I wanted to get off, you know, go back. And we'd gone on a ski lift, and I, you know, had no idea what I was doing. But it was like the most amazing metaphor that for the rest of my life that I could use, because it was like one step at a time.
Mm.
So now I've started, I can't go back.
Yes.
You know, yeah, and it's like, don't rush it.
Yep.
You know, take a look at the view while you're going. You know, things are beautiful that are happening to you right now. Even though you might see, because you're using your sensory factors through your paradigms, you're seeing that life may not be as good as you think, but life is amazing. And if we stop and smell the roses, you know, that old saying, we can see that life is just, you know, beautiful.
Mm. That's fantastic.
Coming down was more exciting than going up. I was like, you know, the best is yet to come.
That's
So,
so good. And look, some of these things, well, what we resonate on. My brother-in-law Claudio is from Chile, and my future brother-in-law Tomas is from Chile as well. And you just bring up a
yeah,
story like that, so it's just you know,
yeah.
more and more connections with you, Sue. I love that.
My
And,
nephew-in-law is from Chile.
hey,
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah, yeah.
So, so how do people contact you other than through Hera Property? Have you got something you can just tell us, an address, an email? What's
Yeah, I've got a Calendly link.
okay? Well, we can put that in the link below. We'll have that in
Okay.
the members site as well. So,
Or they can go on my website as well and shoot me an email. My website is magicalresults.com.au. Really easy to remember. But yeah, there's a link on there, contact, you know, Sue, so they can just shoot me an email and I can contact you that way. Or book an appointment with me through Calendly. I've set up for the rest of this week and next week sometimes. But if any of those times don't suit, get on my website and I can make another time. I'm adaptable. You know, I'm up really early in the morning and up late at night. I'm here living life. So I can, you know, make it work for you too.
fantastic. Thank you, Sue. It's been an absolute pleasure. I know we went way over time, but look, it was just perfect. I really harmonized. And look, you know, we got some good people. We got about 8 people on Instagram. We've got a whole lot of people on Facebook, and I'll have a look at that later. And I just want to say a big thank you. You're doing your life purpose. It comes through the camera when we meet and all that sort of stuff. Keep doing amazing work. Thank you, Sue.
Thank you so much, Dax, for having me. And thank you, everybody, for watching. No, I really appreciate it. You're doing amazing things too. Very impressed with that.
Love
Yeah.
it.